Stephen, great to chat to you ahead of another big game. I love the line you used last week. I think it was in the press conference with all the UEFA paraphernalia around. You said it's kind of like a little circus around the thing at this level. Are you enjoying that aspect of it?
Yeah, I think you have to enjoy it without getting carried away with it. It is what it is. It's nice. It brings a more professional element to it. So it is enjoyable. But again, it's only a few boardings and a few signs when you cut it all back. That's all it is. Yeah, you get on with it.
It is more attention, it's more eyeballs, it's more profile. Do you feel a sense of responsibility towards not just the club but to Irish football?
Yeah, in a certain aspect I think you do, yeah. I think we understand that we're representing the league, and to a lot of people that aren't League of Ireland regulars or people outside the country, that we understand that the league is maybe not respected as it should be. So you feel you have a responsibility to represent the league in the right way when you play and how you play, and how you perform and how you carry yourself on and off the pitch. So I think the players and the group have been excellent at that in terms of understanding that, and I think you've seen in the performance in Europe to date that they've taken that responsibility well on the shoulders.
No different than I'm sure the players. You as a manager, I know you've spoken in the past that you do have ambitions as a manager, and you know everybody does. Does that higher profile and increased attention make you feel that this is an opportunity to prove yourself, or certainly to improve yourself and make a name for yourself?
No, that's the last thing I look at. It's an opportunity to improve, definitely, because you're getting challenged in different ways tactically. It's a fresh challenge that's coming at you, to yourself, the staff and the players, so it definitely gives you a chance to improve and learn. But that's all it is for us. We don't look at anything else other than it's a challenge. How are we going to face that challenge, and ultimately how are we going to win and be successful?
One of the big challenges you have is managing this campaign, which is hugely demanding and challenging against quality opposition on a European stage, and also the run-in for a title race, essentially, and managing the squad. How challenging has that been?
Maybe at the start it was a little bit in terms of the Thursday, Sunday, making sure we had everything in order, recovering, the tactical aspect of each game, reviewing each game, getting ready for the next game, getting that balance. Maybe to start was a little bit challenging, but I think everyone now is in the flow of it. We all understand what needs to be done, both staff and players. So yeah, I think we're well used to it, and like you said, we want to challenge on all fronts. We want to win games in the group. We want to try and retain our league title, and we want to win the cup. So we know what comes with that as a busy schedule and big games. Every game you play is a big game, but it's brilliant. That's what we wanted. That's what we wanted to work towards, and we have that now. And I think the players are showing that they're embracing it and enjoying it, which is fantastic to see. Is
it a hard conversation to tell somebody, you know, like one of the players, for example, who maybe started on the bench last Thursday in the Europa Conference League game, that no, I'm keeping you to start on Sunday against Finn Harps in the league, when maybe they might feel, well, I want to play in the European game?
Yeah, look, every player wants to play in so-called big games on a big stage, but for us, we genuinely felt that Finn Harps was as important as Thursday night, if not more important for us. Them Thursday night games look after themselves. Once you're tactically right and you understand what you're going to face and how you're going to play, they look after themselves because they're big occasions, cameras are there, big crowd. But we knew Sunday was going to be a different challenge. And like I said, once you have open and honest conversation with the players, and we've built that up over the number of years, they understand that and respect that. Sometimes they're not happy, which is understandable. They're good players and want to play in every game. But as long as them conversations are open and honest and respectful, the players are fine. And this group is all about the group and always have been. So that definitely helps.
What you're talking about there is securing the league again and sustaining this European level into next season. How much has this season been the culmination of a job of work that's been going on over the last few years as a club? And obviously you came in 2016, 2017, your first season, and building all that time towards where you are now. Is there a real sense of that around the club?
Yeah, we had a plan a few years back, and I think we would have been knocked quite a bit for that plan at the start, because it looked like to other people outside that it was a million miles away, or was something that we couldn't achieve as a club. And I'm not just talking about as a team, I'm talking about building a club. But to be fair to the board, I've said it before, they stuck to the plan and never wavered from what we were doing, and that gave me great confidence and belief, and it gave me real calmness in the decisions that I could make, understanding that it was always about the long term rather than the short fix. And when you have that backing, it allows you to be really calm in your decision making. And we've been able to build a really good squad over the last few years, and obviously we've had a big success. We failed last year in Europe at the last hurdle, and we learned from that. I think you've seen that this year. And we're obviously in the group stages, but our aim is to get to the group stage and win games, and make sure we're back here next year again and the year after. And that has to be the aim for this club. It's not about being here 1 year and everyone's happy and we move on. It's about can we go better again next year? It's going to be difficult. We have challenges with Derry, with Dundalk, with St. Pat's. So we have challenges domestically to make sure we're in that position. But that's the beauty of the game, and the beauty of where we are. Everyone wants to come and take us down. So we've worked hard to get here, and we're going to work even harder to stay here.
Part of that plan involved sticking by you. Early days, tough times and questions over you. Do you feel you've rewarded that loyalty that the club gave you, and does it give you an enormous sense of satisfaction to be here in a European group stage?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've won a cup, 2 leagues, we've been group stages, we've had 5 or 6 full internationals under our watch, and we've sold over £5 million worth of players. So I think we've repaid that loyalty shown by the board. But again, in-house, we always knew that was never in question. I think myself and Stephen speak to the board quite regular, and they'd never changed their tune. They'd never wavered from the plan. It was always about how can we help, what do you need to make it better, to improve the day-to-day sort of culture around what we do, training, match days. It was all about how we can help you. So like I said, when you have that backing, it allows you to do your job with real calmness, which has been fantastic. Let's
talk about the Djurgardens game then. The words you used, I think a couple of players used it as well after it, was a bit of a sense of frustration that you felt it was a game you could have won. Have you had a chance to look back on it further, and how do you feel about that result now?
Look, I think we need to be very careful. I was frustrated after the game that we didn't win the game, because I felt we had the better opportunities on the night. I still feel that, but we also need to be very careful and understand that we're playing against a top team in who are top of the league domestically. And I think you've seen on the night, you have a few internationals, players that have played Champions League, Europa League, group stages the last few years. So you're playing against a really high level of player, but I think that's a testament to the group, and credit to the group that were frustrated from not winning that game. But again, we need to be very careful, because it's the first point this club has had in Europe, and there's a reason for that. You're playing against some good teams. You're at a level where one mistake and you're usually punished. So yeah, frustrated, but also happy with large parts of the performance.
Do you enjoy that tactical chess match aspect of a game like that? I was really struck by the opposition manager into the second half, and you guys were getting on top, mix it 4 substitutions at once, and you got to respond to that. How are you on the sideline moments like that? Are you thinking calmly? Are you taking it all, enjoying it, or are you is your head in the spin?
You have to be calm. You have to stay calm, and you have to understand what's happening. The worst thing you can do on the sideline, and it happens at times, is get too emotionally involved in the game, because you lose sight of actually what's happening in the game, and especially when it's a tactical game like most European games are. I think you're seeing on Thursday night, for the first 40-50 minutes was a real tactical game. You could see what they were looking to do to hurt us, and you could see what we were looking to do to hurt them, and it was a real chess match, and I think the players handled that really, really well, and you've seen that in the second half. We created a number of chances on the back of that first 45 minutes. So it's brilliant, because it's challenging for us as staff, for the players. but you have to remain calm and try to understand what's happening in front of you.
Was there a sense, I'm sure you can read the players, their mood and body language afterwards, apart from the frustration that they may have had chances to win the game, that was there a sense of encouragement and positivity that they had gone toe to toe with one of the opponents in the group and were absolutely not found wanting, and something that they could take into the remaining games?
That was never in doubt for us. I never for once questioned, could we go toe to toe with Djurgardens or Gent on Thursday? I know what we have in the dressing room, I know the quality we have. We've shown it time and time again, domestically and in Europe the last 4 or 5 years. So that was never in question, and anyone who's watched us quite regular shouldn't question that, because these players are top players and play at a really high level. The two teams that we've played so far, the two top teams, Qualifiers and Leukaemia, are probably as tough as anyone will play this year. So that gave us a real inkling into what we were facing. But even against them two teams, you could see that our players were ready for that level. And so yeah, it was never a question mark were we ready to play against that level.
Talk to us about Gent then. I'm sure you've done the work, looked at the videos. What are you expecting?
Tough game. They're obviously top seeds in the group. Some really, really good technical players. Back three, really athletic. Can play as well. Two of the three centre backs have been tipped with moves to the Premier League. The number 10 is, sorry, he's the number 8, but plays in the 10 position. Is technically as good as anyone you'll play against. Centre forward has played in the Premier League before, and both wing backs are wingers really. So they have real dangers all over the pitch. But again, that's the norm when you're at this level. You usually play against high level of opposition, and that's what these are. But I do believe if we manage the game right and we're focused, I do believe that we can go and hurt them.
Is that your message to the players? You're obviously talking a lot about the things you need to worry about, but do you also have to bear in mind the threats that you can bring, that you have talented players who can go and express themselves on this stage? And I guess, how do you balance those two, competing aspects of a game plan?
Yeah, it's a hard balance to get at times. You have to give the players the information so they understand what they're coming up against, and there's no surprises. You obviously have to respect what you're against and the qualities, but then you've also got to look at how we can hurt them and how we can cause them real problems. And I genuinely believe we've got players that can cause these real problems on Thursday night. You
touched on the away defeats against Leukaemia and Ferencváros, two really tough experiences, but you've also said before that you've learned a lot over the last couple of years and built on learned from good performances and bad performances. So what did you learn from them going into another tough away game on Thursday?
Well, the Leukaemia one was a one-off for me in terms of everything around that trip wasn't right for us. We went onto that pitch, some players haven't travelled 27 hours, which is something you just can't get away with at that level. The players were slow in their decision making and their movements, and we got punished. You could see that by the third goal we gave away over there. It was a really poor, naive goal from us. But that comes when people are tired, and so that was a one-off for me. And the Ferencváros game was one that 2-0, you take it back to Tallinn, you think, yeah, we're okay, but a minute into the second half we literally give them a goal 5 yards from our goal, and from a player who's probably played, I think he's the second or third most appearances in the European competition. Some things like that happen, and you have to take on the chin and move on. And the fourth goal is one from the edge of the box. The ball, he slipped as he's hit it. It's gone through 14 bodies and ended up on the goal. Alan slipped as he gone. Sometimes you just have to understand that it's gone against you, and you take it. They were very good on the night. We were just okay, and they punished us. And it's a harsh lesson, but it's one that we definitely learn from and make sure it improves us.
You've said that you believe the Shamrock Rovers can win games in this group. How do you measure success in this campaign? Do you have targets that you've set?
First of all, can we go and perform at this level, which we always felt we can, and I think we showed on Thursday night we can. We need to go again this Thursday. You need to go and perform again. If we perform, the result will look after itself, and we'll win and we'll draw games. Will we lose them? Of course we will, but if we go and perform like we did on Thursday and go a little bit more, I've no doubt that results will fall our way. So the number one target for us is performance. Go and perform, because we know if we do that the result is not too far away.
Final one then, you're obviously in a very challenging and hugely stimulating, I guess, part of your professional life. You've spoken before about the challenges in your personal life with your little boy Josh getting diagnosed with leukaemia, and the warmth of support and everything around that in the last few months. How difficult has it been to balance those massive things, a hugely challenging professional situation and obviously a really tough personal life at the moment? How are you doing with it all?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. You know, I'm very lucky to have the support structures that I have around me to help me. I'm very lucky to have the wife and the family that I have. She's been incredible, my wife, and allowing me to go and do my job. And it's I think it's helped me in the sense that at the end of the day we're playing football, and family and my kids are number one, and it's definitely helped me enjoy these occasions rather than being too worried about the result. And it's nice to go home and be able to give him a hug.
How's he enjoying it himself? Is he any words of advice or criticism for you?
More criticism, yeah. He has a short fuse at the moment, so if he doesn't like what he sees, he tells me. But it's been fantastic that he's been able to go to the games, and like I said, it's I'm very lucky to have the people around me that I have.
I'm sure he's very proud of you.
Hopefully.